Goedendag, good day. How are you lovely human being feeling at this moment? My name is Phylicia Joy Kloes, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you what I learned about teaching this past school year. When you see this video, I have officially started my summer break and I'm 5 weeks off. My classroom is a Montessori classroom. I teach 4 to 6-year-olds in a public school that teaches the Montessori method. I have certain materials in class that are not Montessori, but you get the gist of it. The Netherlands is one of the few countries where Montessori education is actually not part of the private schooling system, which I'm very grateful that it is that way, since when money is involved, hence private schooling, not all children can benefit from the Montessori method. I teach the younger kids. Group 1 and 2 is what it's called here in the Netherlands. The children who turn 4, they come into my classroom. The young kids is what I've been teaching the longest. This is also where my heart is. It is definitely a different task to teach the younger kids compared to the children who are in group 3 up until group 8. So the children that are 6 turning 7 and leave the school when they're about 12 years old. And that has a lot to do with that younger children develop a little differently compared to, so to speak, school children. The children that are in group 1 and 2 in the Netherlands are called in Dutch the kleuters. I'm not sure what the English translation is to this, but the younger children develop about 17 different categories simultaneously. And I get to plant seeds at a young age and inspire the little children to get interested in all kinds of different things. So in my classroom, I've got different areas, as you are able to see, and these spaces inside the classroom help the children develop socially and emotionally, as well as develop their motory skills, language skills, mathematics skills, geographical and historical skills, and they practice mindfulness. I am planning on creating another video after summer break, going more in depth about all these different areas where the young children grow. Let me know in the comments below what you're looking forward to hear about. What I have learned this school year is to have a better balance between work and private life. Before, I was really keen at working at home still. To be honest, I still think about work when I'm at home. So much is happening. I make so many decisions. Even when I choose not to react, it's also a decision. So in my brain, I'm often thinking about work and things that I have experienced. However, I'm not doing administrative tasks at home anymore. This school year, I've only written report cards at home twice. One time was because my timing was off at work, and the second time was because I stopped working earlier at work to continue the work at home. But it was still kind of work hours, so to speak. But my balance between normal life and work has definitely improved. And this is something that I had to learn. I've had a burnout in the past, and work in the educational system is never finished. It's never done. There's always more to do. So it's easy to keep going. What also definitely has helped me a lot since October, I have my own car. And because I don't want to be stuck in traffic jams, I leave on time. So that is great. Going from home to work is also such a time saver now. Instead of an hour and 10 minutes to go from one door to the other, now it's 30 minutes. So that's a huge difference. And that probably also helped me to create a better work and life balance. So this is my 8th school year at this school, and I have grown my Montessori skills for sure. But I realize now that the Montessori way of teaching has become more a part of life. The way I teach is way more Montessori. The other day, one of the students that I've been guiding was telling me that she thought my way of doing things is definitely a Montessori way. And she mentioned an example of when we were sitting in the circle and I was doing a lesson for all the 26 kids. that she said I could just ignore the children that would walk away, blow their nose, ignore the child that's just going outside of the circle, just walks around, because I'm teaching young children. Some children need to have a little walk. Some children need to blow their nose. Some children have to go to the bathroom. And there are times where I'm saying, during this lesson right now, I want everyone to sit down. And of course, there are children where I have set the bar higher and I'm like, no, you're not allowed to leave my circle right now, because this has not to do with, for example, a little motory skill practice because you have to move, or you have to blow your nose, so you have to use the toilet. Some children just want to avoid the lesson, or behavior-wise, they want to try to see where my borders are, so to speak. So it depends per child, of course, but when you see the children, when you observe the children, you get to know the children better and better, you know when it's just avoiding behavior and when the children are just in need for a little walk, for example. But the Montessori way is really becoming more and more my own, which is really nice. And I've also seen that the more the Montessori method is within me, the more competent the children become as well. And that pays off a lot. It doesn't mean that the children that just come to my class when they turn 4 years old, they can do it, because every child needs different things. And that's okay. It should be that way. However, with the certain tools that I give them, they're more and more able to adjust accordingly. Because not all children that come to my class experience the same kind of Montessori way of living at home. And then it's very different when the school system is very different when the children experience something else with their parents, for example. So this year's classroom setup has also been something that I have developed in a lot. So for example, I used to have a fixed seating. In a Montessori classroom, even with children 4 to 6 years old, they have their own table to sit at. However, before, I used to have more groups together, and now I have a more flexible way where it's set up around the classroom, behind the cabinets, in front of the cabinets. And this allowed me to have a more playful way of how I designed my classroom. In addition, there are flexible working places right now. They don't have a fixed seat that they have to sit in. And at first I was scared to let that go because I wanted to have too much control. However, I learned to let that go, because what I saw is that children, even though they of course have their mates that they want to, play with a lot and work with, they are still gonna look up other children when there's not fixed seating. And it's beautiful. I also now have more spots in my classroom where they sit alone, and children can really feel when they want to eat by themselves, when they want to sit and work by themselves. And it's beautiful that children can learn to choose that at a young age. I just mentioned eating by themselves. Something else I did this school year was letting the children choose their own moments when to eat fruit. So before, I would always have around 10 a.m. a fruit time where everyone ate together. However, there were always children that come up to me and said, "Miss, I'm hungry. I'm craving food." And then I would tell them, "No, you have to wait." The Montessori way of living is to acknowledge your own feelings, your own intentions, your own interests. So for me to say, "No, you cannot have food right now," even though your body is telling you you're hungry, is kind of interesting. So I stepped off from eating fruit together. In the morning at 8:30, when the bell has rung, the parents have left, children can choose to eat fruit right away. I know some children don't eat breakfast at home. Some parents tell me that they just can't get their child to eat. Some parents have difficulty getting to school on time, so therefore sometimes there's a lack of time. But for me, children can come in, they can eat their fruit, they can drink their water, and then they can continue to work. It also helps me to have more time to teach the lessons. I used to not eat fruit with the children anyway, so I used to read books, for example. But now I still can use that time to teach the lessons or to do group activities, to observe, etc. So it's a really nice development that I have done this year by letting the children choose their own moment to eat fruit. And the way I do that, I know some of my coworkers, they just have a box and they let the children put their fruit containers and bottles in there. I don't do it that way because I think then I have to find more boxes to put that stuff. And I don't always remember what boxes are from what child. The children know better than me most of the time. So what I do is the children, they choose where to eat fruit. They hang their backpack on that seat, and that's also where they eat bread together at noon. So that seat then is fixed for eating bread. However, during the morning, other children can work at that spot. And I told the children, you have to eat silently. You have to focus on eating, just like how you have to focus on your work. Really staying quiet is something that I have slipped rule-wise a little bit, because when children speak during that moment, sometimes I'm like, I'm pretending like I don't see it. It's really choose your battles, but maybe next school year I'm gonna be more strict about that, to really eat quietly and eat mindfully and, get more into that. I've also grown in teaching students the skills of teaching. I have been helping students this school year as well, and it is an investment to help students grow. It is also important to learn to sit on your own hands and not respond when things are happening, because the students have to learn for themselves. They have to grow from themselves. They have to observe at first and then keep doing more and more and more themselves. And it'll end up being a gift. Because, for example, I was able to leave the classroom more often and ask the students, hey, can you do this? And at some point, they just did whole days or parts of the day. And it's really good to inspire people to become a teacher, because as some of you may or may not know, we have a shortage of teachers. I'm pretty sure it's in a lot of places in the world, but in the Netherlands, for sure, there's a shortage. So it's good to inspire people of this beautiful job that I am able to fulfill and inspire students with. Something else I've done this school year more is to teach the kids lessons on invitation. So in Montessori, you have the line of the child and you have the line of the teacher. The teacher observes the child a lot, and there are so many moments where the child can choose what he or she or what they want to learn. So for me, the line of the teacher has to do with my observations, with the zone in learning. What is that in English? The zone in learning. I'm just going to call it the zone in learning. And I'm going to teach the child so the child can grow. And I'm going to observe again. I'm going to probably repeat the lesson or tell the child, hey, I want you to grab that work, because that's also the line of the teacher. And this school year, I've done more. I clicked on a bell because I have a bell for getting the kids' attention. And I tell the children, I'm going to teach a lesson about such and such. Whoever wants to join, you can just come along. And honestly, it has surprised me with how many times more children than I thought were joining my lesson. And that just comes to show that I still have interpretations that are not always right, I know that I should observe objectively, but I'm also human, so sometimes they reach my expectations or went beyond my expectations and join my lesson, where I have been managing to teach that lesson to more kids. And sometimes, for example, I teach a more difficult material, and I'm thinking, ooh, no, I don't think you're ready for that. But I don't tell them to not be there anymore, because if they see it, that's okay too. Just look at it, and the other children are able to help the child that has not mastered a certain skill yet, for example. So that's something that I've enjoyed doing more, and it really has inspired me to keep doing that. Something else I've grown in is my administration. I find it quite difficult to be writing my administration to the minimum. I can write for days. I like to be very descriptive, and my texts are pretty long. I can describe, when I teach, for example, a child a lesson, I can describe everything. However, that costs time. And when you've got 26 children in your classroom, you don't want to spend that much time with your observations. Because during my rounds, I see a lot. Then I observe. Sometimes I just look. Sometimes I write down some of the observations and look. And if I am too broad with my descriptions, it takes me too long. And then after school, when the kids are out, I still have a lot to do because I want to put it down. So I actually had a coach, and that process I've actually ended. I've had that coach for 2 years as a way to not slip back into burnout and to learn to see my ability to grow and to avoid going down the slippery slope of burnout again and wanting too much. It's still, of course, a process that I every day have to be aware of. However, this coach really helped me so much. And she was also saying, okay, but do you have to write everything on every child? No. Do you have to write the same thing if a child is doing the same thing for a week? Do you have to write every day, for example, she's drawing? No. You can also write, she chooses to draw a lot. She often draws people. Done. Because when I look back in my administration on that child, then I don't have to scroll that much on messages that are pretty much the same. So that really helped me a lot. To also see, no, I don't have to write everything per child. And no, I don't have to repeat myself if a child does the same thing. Something else that I've learned this school year is that sometimes there's not more I can do. And that is difficult because I am a perfectionist. My bar is set pretty high. And even though I've learned to lower it down a bit, I'm still a perfectionist. I use language in class to make myself better understandable for the children that do not speak Dutch very frequently at home. However, there's not more I can do. And usually I push myself to try better and to do better and to be better and to think, what else can I do? Help me, please. And I go to the, what is intern begeleider in English? Well, basically, my coworker who knows more about care outside of the school, who knows what external people she can call so they can observe, of course, with permission of the parents. Because anything within the school I can just do. If people from outside of the school are needed, then I need permission from the parents. And learning that sometimes there's not more I can do. Finally, that realization came this school year. We live in a time where all children deserve a chance to be a part of public education, but some children simply need more than I can offer besides the 25 other children in my classroom, where all these 26 children have their own needs, have their own growth, have their own developing path, have their own lessons that they take from their home, that they bring to school. Everyone is different. And sometimes children need more than I can offer. I started the coordinator journey last school year, but I was really able to lean on a coworker that had done the coordinator tasks before me. So last school year, I was able to do it kind of together with her. And this school year, I am doing it on my own. And I have learned to not just have a great view on my own classroom, but seeing the other two Montessori Group 1-2 as well, to know the names, to know the things that are going on there, and to have a better understanding of what I as a coordinator can do to improve the education in all three of the groups 1-2 in the Montessori area. And this school year, since January, I got time for doing the tasks, like, for example, taking care of field trips or delegating the field trips to my coworkers, mainly just getting an overview of what is possible and stuff. But also getting external people inside. Like, for example, this school year we had a beekeeper who visited the school, but also doing a fall walk, doing a spring walk, taking care of overviewing the points that we were going to discuss during our meetings every other week, preparing the information sent to parents, for example, for certain things. So this school year, I was really learning to be a coordinator in a better way. And something else that I really enjoy is that the way that I communicate with my team of the group 1-2 is so positive. We can talk about anything to each other. We are really there for each other. And I got that feedback a lot from other people as well, that they enjoy the way our team feels, that we're really open, that we're really welcoming, that anyone is allowed to be there. For example, the people that I helped guide this school year, that are students, they also feel welcomed in our team. And I think it's really important to just see people as they are and see each other's values and help each other grow, and respecting everyone. And I'm really, really happy that my team feels such a way, and that other people feel that as well, that our vibe is really good. So happy with that. And what else I want to learn more this upcoming school year is not just see the close term goals, but to be able to look more further ahead and see the bigger goals that are more future oriented. Next school year, I'm going to actually do a workshop to become a Montessori leader. Is leader the word in English? I guess. Montessori principal-ish. But my aim is not to become a Montessori principal this upcoming year. However, I want to use it to improve my coordinator tasks. So something else that I enjoy is that I have been able to keep things tidier. I'm really good at collecting things, and I'm really great at just putting things in cabinets and closing the doors and leaving it like that. But I am better able to keep my own things tidy. My desk is still something to focus on every once in a while, because I tell the kids, oh yeah, just put it on my desk, just put it on my desk. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, why do I say that? I know this is something I have to work on, but it's definitely been improving throughout this school year. It's definitely more a nice overview. I can find everything. I can still find everything in the messy cabinets too, but you know, it's nice when it looks nice, because when your environment is well taken care of, your mind is too. And the kids' cabinets are tidy, but my own things were not always that tidy, and it's a lot better now. Something else I've grown into is process-based learning, especially creatively. So I've been collecting materials. I've also been inspired by this great Instagram account, so check them out if you want to get inspired as well with crafting. But children are able to either follow my lesson, and another moment they're able to just craft and create according to their own wishes and grow their motory skills and grow their creative thinking. So I want to keep learning about this, but it's a nice year of getting more and more into the process-based creative learning, and especially through crafting. However, next school year, I want to focus it more on playing instruments and drawing. And I mean, I'm doing a lot of drawing, but it could be even more process-based learning by drawing something and drawing that same thing again and drawing that same thing again and reflecting on it, etc. But yeah, the start has been set. It has started. The end of the school year is here. For me, not literally, but for you when you watch this, it is. The classroom will be looking funny. Everything will be stacked and put to the side. So throughout this summer holiday, the cleaners can deep clean everything. And then after summer, when the kids just have 1 week left of vacation, we call it our 0 week. And we're going to start the process of how are we going to create the classroom this year. I'm probably going to change it up a bit. However, I do really enjoy how I did it this school year, how I set everything up. It was playful. It was still a nice view for me to still see what everyone is doing. But yeah, I'm excited for this upcoming school year. And I'm curious to see what else I can learn from it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, that is lovely. You could leave a thumbs up if you like it. Leave a emoticon like this in the comments below if you've made it up until this point. And I hope to see you in another video. Bye bye.